So Pokemon Sword and Shield's launch weekend has officially come and gone, and after a few days, I have officially completed the game for myself. I really enjoyed the game a lot myself personally, but one thing in particular I want to talk about today are of course the brand new Pokemon. The new Pokemon themselves are arguably the most highly anticipated thing out of every new generation of Pokemon, and in Generation 8 we got a lot of interesting and unique new Pokemon to say the least. So because they are such an interesting thing to be able to see for the first time and react to yourself, I thought I would go ahead and give you guys my opinion on every single brand new Galar Pokemon from Sword and Shield, including the Galarian forms as well. Now this should be self-evident, but I am going to go ahead right now and give a huge spoiler warning for this video because I'm obviously going to go over every single new Pokemon, meaning if you don't want the new Pokemon spoiled for yourself, you should probably stop watching this video right now. Okay, you've officially been warned. With that spoiler warning officially out of the way, in Generation 8 we saw the introduction of 80 brand new Pokemon plus 13 Galarian forms, and in this video I'm going to give you my opinion on every single one of them in roughly a sentence or less. Now because we have so many Pokemon to cover here in one video, I decided to not talk about the Gigantamax forms since they don't really change that much from the base form anyway, but if this video does really well and people want to see me give my opinions on the Gigantamax forms in a separate video, be sure to let me know in the comments below, and like I said, if this video does really well and there's enough people who want to see it, I might do that as well at some point in the future. Without any further ado though, why don't we go ahead and just get right into the Pokemon. Starting at the beginning, we have Grookey. Grookey is my least favorite of the first stages of the starter Pokemon, but I still absolutely love it. Its middle evolution Thwackey is also really good as well, and is probably my favorite of all of the middle evolutions of the starter Pokemon. Rillaboom is solid. It's not amazing, it's not terrible, although I am not a fan of the drum it carries around because I don't like when objects are incorporated into Pokemon designs that aren't actually a part of the Pokemon themselves. After being my least favorite of the Galar starters to start off with, Scorbunny actually came in right at the last second and took the place as my new favorite starter of the three, just barely edging out Sobble. It grew a ton on me over the months leading up to release. Raboot I really like a lot as well. I like the whole ninja theme it has going on, and overall it's a really solid middle evolution for a starter Pokemon. Cinderace is a bit of a mixed bag for me because while it probably edges out Rillaboom just barely as my favorite final evolved form of the starter Pokemon, I'm not really a huge fan of it either because I think it pulls off the whole rabbit soccer player concept it's got going on really poorly in terms of its execution, and I just think it's a design that lacks a lot of creativity. I absolutely love Sobble, he is my sad boy, and even though like I said Scorbunny just barely edged him out, I still love him to death nonetheless. When it comes to Drizzile, other than its ugly highlighter green color that it has throughout its design, I actually really like it a lot, and I think it's a solid extension of the emotional theme that was established with these Pokemon with its pre-evolution. Inteleon literally makes me so uncomfortable, it needs to stop standing like that, it is way too humanoid, not a good Pokemon. What more can you say about Skwovet? It's the regional rodent, it's solid, it's cute, that's about it. Greedent is also essentially the Bibarel or the Diggersby of this generation, and I would say it does a pretty good job of fulfilling that role and emulating the aspects of what make those two Pokemon so memorable in their own roles. Rookity is cool, and I think it fits right in really well with the rest of the starting bird family. Same thing goes for Corvisquire, it fits right in and it is a really solid middle evolution that I personally enjoy. Corviknight is cool, but it's not anything super special to me. As a starting bird, it's probably up there as one of the cooler ones, but as a Pokemon in general, it's kinda just average in my opinion. I think Blipbug is really cool. Just from its face, you can tell that it has a lot of character, and I really love when Pokemon have a lot of character and uniqueness in their appearance. Dottler is your basic cocoon Pokemon, so it doesn't really have a lot going on, but the fact that it's Bug Psychic type and the first one of those at that is insanely cool as well. While it is kind of interesting that it evolved into a ladybug of all things in Orbeetle, I still do like Orbeetle, and it's a very interesting and unique starting bug Pokemon. Nickit is really cool, and in my opinion is just a more interesting and well-designed version of Poochyena. Same thing goes for its evolution Thievul. It's basically just a more interesting, better designed version of Mightyena from Hoenn. Gossifleur is basically just your resident feminine grass type, but I think it's an excellent design and I really enjoy it a lot. Eldegoss is just an extension of that as well. I really love it, and I love how it incorporates the elderly English lady aspect into its design as well. What more can I say about Wooloo? It's freaking Wooloo, and it's freaking amazing. Its evolution Dubwool is actually really awesome as well. I love how it becomes a goat-sheep hybrid type of thing, and I think it's a really solid evolution for a Pokemon as popular as Wooloo. While Choodle definitely looks derpy in the face department, I think it is a pretty cute and solid Pokemon overall. Dreadnought was one of the first Pokemon we were introduced to in the Galar region, and I think it is absolutely fantastic. When we were first introduced to Yamper with the E3 demo, I thought it looked kind of weird, but it grew on me very quickly and is easily one of my favorite Galar Pokemon. Its evolution Boltund, in my opinion, is the epitome of cool and majestic, and definitely is a quality evolution for a Pokemon as cool as Yamper. I also really love Roly-Coly. I really like how it's a train piece of coal Pokemon and it blends those things together so well, and going in I had high hopes for its evolutions. Its first evolution Carkol is solid. I don't think it's necessarily amazing, but for a middle evolution, what more could you expect? Its final evolution Colossal though, I think is fantastic. It is a really good final evolution for this Pokemon. I think it's one of the better rock monster Pokemon that we have out there, and it reminds me of that one lava monster Titan guy from Hercules, so overall, fantastic Pokemon. While I thought Applin was a little bit weird at first, considering most of the Pokemon is just the apple, it got a lot cooler when I realized it was part Dragon type. Its evolution Flapple is also really cool because I like how the apple essentially breaks apart into the different parts of its body as a Dragon-type Pokemon, and overall I think it's a really creative design. My preference though when it comes to Applin's evolutions is Appleton, because it's literally an apple pie Pokemon combined with a dragon. It does not get more creative than that, and I think it's amazing. I think Silicobra is a pretty cool Pokemon. It has an interesting, unique design to it, and I really like it a lot. While Sandaconda definitely is a little bit more unique and maybe not so much in the good way in my opinion, I do still think it's a solid Pokemon, and I can already feel it growing on me even in just the short amount of time that I've been introduced to it. Cramorant is a derp, but it's supposed to be a derp, and it does a good job at doing that, so overall I think it's a solid Pokemon. Its partner in crime, Arrokuda, I also think is a really cool resident fish Pokemon and overall has a really good design. Its evolution, Barrascuda, I think also looks really good and is just an extension of everything I just said about Arrokuda as well. I think Toxel is a really interesting, unique Pokemon, and the fact that it has the never-before-seen electric poison type just makes it that much more cool. While Toxtricity is definitely a little bit wild, it's obviously supposed to be that way, so I guess I can't really fault it, and overall I think it's a pretty cool Pokemon. It's really awesome to see more fire bug types that aren't essentially legendaries like Volcarona, and Sizzlipede I think does a pretty good job of bringing us a new Pokemon in that category. Its evolution Centiskorch is also really cool and probably ranks up there as one of the cooler bug types in my opinion. Clobopus is a really unique design, but I also think it's extremely adorable as well, and I really like it a lot. Its evolution Graplocked I think is solid, but I would really like to know why it changed in color so drastically from its evolution, and overall I think its evolution is better, but it's still solid overall as well. Sinistea is a QT, no pun intended, and I really like how it uses its arm as the teacup handle, and its tongue is essentially the tea overflowing from the cup. Overall, really cute. Poltegeist is very much the same way. It's obviously a very British Pokemon, but it's also really endearing and really charming as well. I think Hatenna is a really interesting, unique, and cute looking Pokemon overall, and I was instantly drawn to it the first time I saw it in the game. I think Hattrem is a really good looking Pokemon, and I think it's an excellent evolution to Hatenna. Overall, a really awesome Pokemon that I love a lot. Its evolution Hatterene kind of killed this line for me though, unfortunately, because like I said with Inteleon, I'm not a fan of the super humanoid looking Pokemon, and this Pokemon definitely has a more humanoid look, so unfortunately I'm not the biggest fan of its design as I was with its pre-evolutions. Impidimp is a little rascal, and even though it took some time to grow on me as well as most of the Pokemon community, I really love it a lot. Its evolution Morgrem is kind of interesting looking to say the least, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily terrible, but I definitely do not like it as much as Impidimp. Grimmsnarl is literally a steroid monster, and I do not like it at all. I think it is a pretty dang terrible Pokemon. Obstagoon is another evolution to the Zigzagoon family and is literally based on Gene Simmons. What more could you ask for? Great Pokemon. I am absolutely flabbergasted at the amount of attention and love they are giving Meowth of all Pokemon in the past couple generations, but when it comes to Berserker, I actually do enjoy it a lot. I was kind of shocked at its design at first, but when I realized it's a Viking Pokemon, that made me really enjoy it a heck of a lot more. Cursula as well as Galarian Corsola have got to be some of my new favorite Pokemon of all time. I absolutely love these guys so much, and Cursula is probably, no, I say it's definitely, my favorite of the new evolutions to old Pokemon in this generation. Sirfetch'd as a Pokemon is okay, but as an evolution to Farfetch'd, I'm really not the biggest fan of it, because it really doesn't change its appearance that much from Farfetch'd, and that's what you're supposed to do with an evolution, and with a Pokemon like Farfetch'd where we waited for it to get an evolution for so long, it does not quite live up to the hype for me. I don't necessarily think that Mr. Rime looks like a proper evolution to Mr. Mime. I think it would be better served as a split evolution of Mime Jr., but with that said, a Pokemon that is literally based on Charlie Chaplin and takes advantage of the Mr. Mime design, I think is pretty great nonetheless. Runerigus is a very weird Pokemon to say the least, and I am about as much of a fan of it as I was its Univin counterpart in Cofagrigus, which isn't very much. However, I do really appreciate that Yamask essentially now has a split evolution, which is really cool. Milcery is pretty stinkin' adorable, and I really don't have much else to say because it's just a cute Pokemon. I think Alcremie is really awesome too, and definitely one of the better food-based Pokemon we have out there, but still an awesome Pokemon overall as well. Phalanx has got to be one of the weirdest and most interesting Pokemon we have seen in a while. While I think one of them individually looks really cool, I think the whole 6 of them being one Pokemon thing is really weird and kind of off-putting to me, but I guess it's kind of endearing in its own unique way. Pincurchin is kind of weird because while I do think it's a cool Pokemon, it's essentially the Galarian form of Pyukumuku, even though it's not Galarian Pyukumuku or an evolution to Pyukumuku either. It's really kind of weird how it's not related to Pyukumuku at all, but still it's a really cool Pokemon in its own right as well. Its name is Snom. What more do I need to say? It's fantastic. Frostmoth is really solid. Not only is it the very first ice bug type, and it's always cool to see unique type combinations introduced into the Pokemon world, but the design itself is pretty cool as well, so overall a really cool bug type. Stonejourner is not the greatest in my opinion. Obviously it's a kind of Stonehenge Pokemon, which I guess is cool for the Galar region, but overall I'm not too impressed by it. This is literally the new worst Pokemon of all time. I'm sorry if you like it, but in my opinion, this thing is terrible. Ever since I saw it in a Pokemon Center for the first time, Indeedee really intrigued me and I kind of became enamored by it almost instantly. I think it's a really interesting Pokemon and I like it a lot. Morpeko is right up there as one of my favorite Pikachu clones. I think it's an awesome design. I love that it brought the electric dark type into existence, and I think it's really cool that it got an important role as Marnie's signature Pokemon. Cufant is kind of interesting. I don't think it's an amazing Pokemon by any means, but it's not a bad Pokemon either, so overall pretty average in my opinion. Its evolution Copperajah is basically the same thing. Not great, not terrible, just average, although it makes me wonder about the possibility of an Indian Pokemon region in the future. Even though its electric dragon typing is really cool, Dracozolt has got to be one of the weirdest Pokemon I have ever seen, and even though I love the way they did the fossil Pokemon this time around in these games, it gives off a very Frankenstein-y type of vibe when it not only is the result of 2 fossils being combined together, but it also looks like that as well. Arctozolt is probably my favorite of the 4 new fossil Pokemon. I absolutely love its electric ice typing, which I believe prior to this point has only ever been used by Rotom Frost, and even though it does look weird as well, it looks weird in a goofy, funny type of way, which I think gives it a lot of redeeming qualities, so I think it's a solid Pokemon. This thing is unbelievably ugly. It's gotta be one of the ugliest Pokemon of all time. I think it was probably a mistake that we resurrected it from the dead. I'm not even joking. What can I say about Arctovish except it's really weird. I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, it's just weird. I don't know what else to say about it, it's just weird looking. While Duraludon was a little weird looking when it was first revealed, it has grown on me a lot since then, and now I think it is a really cool looking Pokemon, and I love the dynamic that it has with Tyranitar. Dreepy is a really cool Pokemon, and I think it is an awesome start to an awesome pseudo-legendary family. Dracloak is just more of the same, it's a really awesome Pokemon, and I think it's funny that it carries around a Dreepy with it as well. And Dragapult naturally just tops off this entire line in terms of just being a really awesome, unique, cool, fantastic Pokemon, and the Dragon Ghost typing definitely doesn't hurt that as well. While Zacian has grown on me since it was first revealed, and I do think it's a pretty good Pokemon, I'm also not in love with it either, and I'm still kind of miffed about that sword eternally being in its mouth. Zamazenta is the exact same way for me, except I like Zamazenta a lot more than Zacian, so the fact that it has also grown on me a lot as well makes Zamazenta, in my opinion, a really cool Pokemon now, whereas before I thought it was just an okay Pokemon. And finally, the last Pokemon of the Galar Dex so far, prior to any surprise mythical event Pokemon being revealed at this point, is Eternatus, and I think Eternatus is freaking fantastic. Not only does it give us our very first Poison-type legendary, at least I'm pretty sure, because the Ultra Beasts definitely are not legendaries, but the design itself is just so cool. It kind of reminds me of like a skull undead version of Rayquaza. It kind of has that look to it, and I just think that is so awesome. So overall, a really fantastic, amazing legendary Pokemon. And now we get to go over the Galarian forms really quick. I obviously had to cover these because for the most part they are fantastic, so let's go ahead and do that. Galarian, Zigzagoon, and Linoon are fantastic. Not only does Galarian Linoon get to represent the European Badger, which fits perfectly in the Galar region, but they also just look really cool as well. Even though I cannot believe for the life of me that Meowth of all Pokemon got 2 regional variants, I didn't even think that was allowed to happen, I will say that I do really like its Galarian form a lot. I love that it's inspired by Vikings, I definitely prefer it over the Alola form and probably the Cantonian form as well. Galarian Farfetch'd is kind of interesting because while the Pokemon itself doesn't really change at all, with the bigger leak being the lone true main change to the Pokemon, it has this new expression and aura about it that can't help but be described as cool, so overall I think it's a pretty cool form. Oh boy, I'm pretty sure you guys were just waiting to hear what I had to say about this one. They went and did it. They actually gave Stunfisk some attention. I cannot believe it, and you know what? I gotta say, they actually made some pretty good use out of its stupid flat body. So while I will not say that it's completely redeemed and it's still kind of a derp, the fact that it's now a sort of mimic Pokemon and it's got the whole bear trap thing going on, I think they did a good job of giving Stunfisk some desperately much needed attention, and I think they did a good job of improving its design quite a lot as well. I briefly touched on Galarian Corsola when I talked about Cursula, but this is easily my favorite regional variant form that we have seen so far, and is easily now one of my favorite Pokemon of all time along with Cursula. I think everything about this concept, its appearance, its design, is absolutely fantastic. 12 out of 10 Game Freak, you did a fantastic job with this one. What can you really say about Galarian Weezing that hasn't already been said? It's British as heck, it's really funny, but it also looks really good as well, and is a really solid Pokemon in my book. Even though Galarian Yamask is basically the same as its Univin counterpart, I really love that they went ahead and gave some Univa Pokemon some love in these games, so I have absolutely nothing bad to say about Galarian Yamask whatsoever. I mean, the entire internet has basically said this already, but I guess one more time wouldn't hurt. Galarian Ponyta is fantastic. What more can you say? Galarian Rapidash is an interesting one for me because while it doesn't do anything bad or detrimental to Galarian Ponyta's design or Rapidash's original design, I think I was expecting more out of it than what it ultimately gave us, so when I saw it for the first time I was a little bit disappointed. So with those previous factors also in consideration, I can say that it is a pretty good Pokemon as well. Galarian Mr. Mime is a lot like regular Mr. Mime. It's hilarious, it's kinda creepy, but the fact that it's a comedian now is pretty stinking great, and I kinda love it a lot. Galarian Darumaka is absolutely adorable, and I absolutely love all of the love that they gave to Unova in these games. Galarian Darmanitan is kind of goofy looking, but I also love that it's essentially a snowman yeti. I really like that a lot, and I think it's a really solid Galarian form as well. And with that said, that is my opinion on every single brand new Gen 8 Galar Pokemon, including the Galarian forms as well. Even though I've got to think about it a little more in terms of how much I like this new batch of Pokemon and how I think it stacks up to the other generations, I think we got a lot of really good Pokemon to say the least, even if we got a lot of weird ones as well. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do I hate a Pokemon you love? Do I love a Pokemon you hate? Let me know, and remember, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion. If you feel differently, that is perfectly fine. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're new for way more Pokemon content and Sword and Shield content all the time. And if you'd like to support me further, you can check out my Spotify and my Pokemon Cardinal project as well. And hey, if you guys like this video, if it does well, and you want to see a Gigantamax opinion version of this video, definitely let me know in the comments as well for that. With that being said though, I'll be back on Thursday with another video. I hope you guys have a great day. So until then, as always, be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as it goes live, and I will smell you guys later.